Yes, it sounds like there's 300 people in here. And there are. But anyway, I heard something. Okay. You like my suspenders?
They're great.
It's a fashion statement for summer. Trust me on this. Good to be back. This is our last show, almost last show. We're going to take a break next week. We will be on break next week for the Memorial Day holiday. But tonight, my guests are artist Roy Kinzer and Jerry Wiese, who is general manager of WZBG, and he also has the morning show there. We're going to take a quickie break, and we'll be right back.
That was good.
Yeah,
I felt like it was so easy.
Yes, yes. I actually am looking at the right camera this time. Ah! Kill him! My first guest just flew in, literally just flew in. We're glad to have him here. He's the operations and sales manager for WZBG, and he has the morning show there. Won't you please welcome Mr. Jerry Wiese?
Thank you.
Howdy!
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah. You ever heard of me before?
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard of you too.
Christy told me about you last week.
Last week, okay. and we're instantly famous. Okay,
Yeah.
Now, we're going to talk about a lot of things. Let's talk about radio.
Okay.
How'd you get into it?
Oh, back in high school.
Back in high school, which must have been, what, 2 years ago for you?
Oh, boy, no. I was actually more like, well, let's see, 81 I graduated, so it was a while ago.
A while ago.
12, 10, 11, I don't know. 12 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And we, well, I was a little 10-watt radio station at my high school in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, and that's where I first did it. And then after that, I was in college, worked part-time.
Did you like study communications, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is, in my opinion, if anybody's thinking about going to college for communications, don't do it. It's a waste.
Words
Did everybody here
to life.
major in communications?
Cover thyself.
No,
Gird thy loins.
No, seriously, you don't need to go to a communication school to do radio. All you need to do is learn.
Yeah.
You can learn everything you need to know at a radio station. You just have to be willing to work a lot of hours for very little money.
Yes, yes, yes. I went to broadcasting school, which is about the same thing. I mean, it's hands-on and all that kind of fun stuff. But at least you get to touch the equipment. I mean, it's conceptual in college. I mean, they don't really, they don't really let you do a whole lot until your last year usually.
That's true. In fact, probably a better way to learn people starting out. We have a lot of interns. We have people come in who, there are interns here probably too, but that's a better way because you literally get to do everything. You get to do everything. You get to have hands-on experience.
Yeah.
That's a good way to learn. A lot of radio stations will do that.
Yeah. Now, having said that, here you are. You're in radio. You're doing it professionally. Do you like it? You having fun?
I love it.
Now, what kind of thing? Now, you have the morning show.
I have a lot of things.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that. You're a man of many talents. Besides the morning show, what kinds of things are you responsible for at the station?
Well, I get into the station about 5 o'clock, do the morning show until 9.
Yeah.
After that, I become sales manager. I don't have to put on a tie, though. Yeah, different hat, no tie. I refuse to wear a tie. Can't stand it. I go to work like this. I'm very fortunate in that we're very laid back there. Can't go see many clients, but that's cool. I don't mind doing that. We have a sales staff of about 3.5 people. That half person.
And hired a dwarf.
No. We have a lot of people do a lot of different things at the station, and I oversee the sales staff, and I oversee all the programming staff, and basically everything the general manager doesn't do, I do.
Okay.
So I'm usually putting in about a 12-hour day. A lot of people think you do your show, you go home.
No, that's a big myth.
That's a lot of stuff.
Even I knew that. Now, about your show, is it a call-in show? Do you do you do the things like some stations do? Do you like prank call people and wake them up out of bed and tell them they were fired and stuff like that?
No, don't do too much of that. Honestly, it's I guess from that point of view, I'm pretty white bread as far as that's concerned. I'm laid back. They've dubbed me over easy Wiese.
Over easy.
I like that one. That's what they've been calling me. Actually, if you want crazy wacko stuff, you have to tune in for Betty and the Beehive in the afternoons.
Betty and the Beehive.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now.
Okay. You asked them the questions.
Yes.
Right.
Basic things though. What kind of format of music do you play?
I guess the best way to describe it is soft rock.
Soft rock, like Carpenters, Harry Chapin. Not that soft.
The Little Carpenters. Yeah, we do. We play No rush.
Somewhere between the Carpenters and
we
Rush.
play, I guess, as Carpenters, we play a lot of Billy Joel, Phil Collins, Elton John, Carly Simon,
Yeah.
the Beatles. Too much Michael Bolton for my taste, but he's very popular.
As they say, he has overwrought renditions of old classics.
Yeah, he screams the favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't hear it here. I didn't say
Well,
that.
the theme is we play favorites. It's the kind of music you can listen to in the office, and a lot of offices, thank goodness, thank you so much, do that, and banks and whatever. It's good stuff.
Wow. Now, do you ever have any famous people drop in on you?
Oh yeah.
Like who? Who could they be?
Let's see. Who did we have in our first couple of weeks on the air? The governor paid us a visit.
Yeah. Did he present any budget proposals on the air or anything like that?
No, but we took a few phone calls. He doesn't make too many radio appearances on specific radio stations, so that was exciting. He was there. We had both senators have been on, Lieberman and Dodd. Let's see, what other famous people? Just last week we had, I'm going to get her name wrong, Elizabeth Glazer, Paul Michael Glazer's wife.
Yes.
Who is, unfortunately, the whole family is like infected with the HIV virus. And that was a big, and I mean, it's kind of a downer subject, but we've had a lot of.
But she's very up about it, though. I mean,
she's doing positive things.
Yeah, I've seen her on TV, and she's a real role model.
Right. Oh, we've had, let's see, George Carlin's been on.
Really?
He was promoting, well, not in person. He was on the phone.
Okay. What, on the phone, like a phone link?
Yeah, phone. Yeah. We do a lot of phone stuff for people who can't get out to the station. He was on. We also had, Bob Costas. That was fun.
Yeah?
I got to interview Bob Costas.
Wow.
I get all tongue-tied when I do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also, last week we had Tom Jones, not the one who
it's not
wears leather.
unusual.
Not that Tom Jones.
One, yeah.
The guy who wrote the Fantastics.
Okay.
He was on when they did the performance at the Thomaston Opera House. He was on last week.
We have people trying to dance like the other Tom Jones.
Stop it. I'll throw panties at you.
That's later in the show. They didn't tell you that, did they?
No, they didn't.
You never know what's going to happen on this show. You just never know. Are you staying for the whole show?
At least as
long as we'll have you.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
Yeah.
Then.
Great. Okay. Now, some things you want to talk about and share with our audience. You have an event coming up this weekend.
Big one.
Big one. And what is it?
The Bike-A-Walkathon. First annual Bike-A-Walkathon for Connecticut Special Olympics. That's what this is. If you'd like one of these, you can have one. All you have to do is show up tomorrow and Sunday. It's a 2-day thing because we're going 97.3 miles.
97.3, and there's a significance to that, of course.
Yeah. It's 97.3.
Yeah.
And we're doing about roughly 45, 50 miles a day. Tomorrow we start in Winstead at the Super Saver in Winstead on Route 44.
Yeah.
If you want to join us, you must have a helmet. To bike, that is.
To bike, okay.
Have a helmet. Show up with, we have these on the scene. These are our little
We can get a close-up of that, yeah.
There we go.
There you
That's
go.
perfect, just right. Is that how Johnny Carson did it?
Something like
hold
that.
Hold it up like that.
Yeah.
We'll give you one of these. You fill it out. Basically, it's got all the stuff in there that you need. And for $10, either whether it's out of your pocket or you get 10 friends each to give you a buck or $100 or whatever, that'll work too. You'll get one of these T-shirts. If you just want to buy one, they're $12. But I'll tell you what, I have one for free for you.
Free?
I don't know if it's the right size.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't know if it's the right size. If it is, then I'll exchange it for you.
Well, let's see.
It's very nice. It's a medium.
Medium?
I was going to give it to Christy.
It'll make me manly at the club, yes.
Anyway, we'll start.
Kill him.
We'll start in Winstead. No, you're quite welcome. Start in Winstead, then we'll go from there down Old Route 800 to Torrington, to Wise's IGA.
Yeah.
And then from there, all of our stops are at IGA supermarkets because they're one of our sponsors.
Yeah.
One of the sponsors of this event, I should say.
Actually, let me hold up the back of the shirt because there's all kinds.
All the sponsors.
Look at this.
Look at that. IGA supermarkets, Coca-Cola, Canada Dry. They've all been very good. All these people have been wonderful. They've helped us out big time. And we'll go to Torrington. Then from there, the big hike tomorrow is from Torrington to Thomaston. That's going to be quite a trip.
Yeah.
It's about 3.5 miles up Route 118. I will not be pedaling. I'll be in the lead car with the microphone.
With the microphone. Well, that's one of the advantages of being, one of the
somebody
hosts.
has to do it,
It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it.
And then from Thomaston, we go to Watertown. That's the end of day one. And then day two, we start off in Terryville. We go Terryville to Bristol, Bristol to New Britain, New Britain to Farmington, Farmington to Canton. And then we also have a walk on Sunday, which is about 10 miles from Dr. Bach's Dental Center, and go from there about 10 miles out, 202-44 to Canton. So we wind up in the same place. The whole idea being you get pledges per mile. We're going to, we know we have at least $4,000 that we'll be presenting to Connecticut Special Olympics, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing.
Now, tell us, why the Special Olympics? Because?
Because it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, but now this is also one of the causes that Susan St. James
That's
is
what I hear,
heavily
yes.
involved in, and she is, of course, one of the owners, yes.
Yes,
of
she
the
is.
station.
She is one of the principals.
Did she ever stop by?
On occasion.
Yeah.
In fact, we just had a business meeting this morning. She was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is actively involved.
Does she ever like sit down and get on the mic and go over the air?
She did a long time ago.
Yeah.
Back about a year ago when we signed on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
See, I'd like for her to come visit me sometime. It'd be fun.
She would maybe. Do that.
Maybe.
I don't know. You know, she's retired from the acting business.
Go ahead. Commit your.
Actually, she has been known to make an appearance or two. So who knows?
Well, what I want to do is I want to go to a quickie break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk some more about maybe Susan St. James and other things at the station.
Okay.
You can talk about some of the people that you work with.
Great.
That'd be fun. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
Great. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Where am I? Here we are. Here we are, yes. Quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more Jerry over Easy Weezy. Okay, we're back with Jerry Wiese, and we were talking during the break about some of the neat stuff that the station has. Now, I've never had a tour of the station. I've never been
Have to
invited.
come down.
I've never been invited.
Yeah, well, consider yourself invited, please.
I've been invited.
Come down
Okay.
and see it. Yes.
Okay, great. Now, you were saying that you've got like everything's like on computer hard drive and everything's like totally digital. There's no tapes, there's no records, no
Right.
broken needles, no nasty noises or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, was this something that the station set out to do, or is this something that you have been building since the beginning, or?
That really has been in existence since the beginning.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is since we're a brand new station,
Yeah.
it's not like we inherited something that had a lot of investment and stuff.
Yeah.
Because basically, when you're starting from scratch, you can pick out all kinds of neat things.
Yeah.
The one thing that sort of controls everything is the computer storage that we use.
And this sounds fascinating. It sounds like NASA Space Control. Why don't you just describe this? It sounds great.
Well, if you were to look in our control room, rather than seeing a lot of carts, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the inside of a radio station. They have these things look like 8-track tapes.
Yeah.
Those are called carts in radio lingo.
Yeah.
And that's usually what you have your commercials and things like that on.
Right.
We don't have any of those. We don't have any cart machines, no carts, no tapes. Everything is stored directly on a computer hard drive. It's about a 760 megabyte hard drive, which isn't all that big. But
pretty big.
Well, it is
Yeah.
bigger than your average hard drive, but through some compression and digital storage and things, all of any commercials you hear on our station are actually playing off of a computer. So I'm looking at a computer screen with a keyboard and everything. So it's kind of cool when you see it.
Now, from a DJ's perspective, okay, you know, radio DJ, I know that you are required to keep logs and things like that. Is that computerized too?
Yes. Everything's
Logging
combined.
is computerized?
Yeah, everything is.
Gee, I could handle that.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was one of the things that really, you know, when I was deciding between radio and TV, and when I sat through the classes that said you have to log this and you have to log that, I was like, this sounds just like.
And most stations, that's still true. In fact, many of what we have is really a lot better than what a lot of the Hartford stations have, because they have thousands and thousands of dollars invested in these carts. They cost about $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And you figure you need a couple, 300 of them.
At least.
You know, just for commercials, and then
they jam, the cart machine goes haywire, and then, you know, you pull the thing out. Or
many of them still play music off of them, and you know they have thousands of those, and they go out of phase and all these other things. But if you've got such a tremendous investment, you can't just switch over into our stuff. But it was cost effective. It's not just to impress people, even though it does that.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it sounds like really clean.
Yeah.
Now, is it like a big studio? I mean, you know,
Not really. In fact, no. No, it's not a big studio at all. It sounds big, but it isn't big.
Yes, just like us here. You know, this is a huge studio. Tell everyone it's huge.
That's a lot bigger than ours.
So there we have it. Now, besides the Bica Walkathon,
right?
Okay, you've got some other promotions that are going on at the station.
Oh boy, every weekend.
You guys have your fingers in all kinds of pies.
Totally.
What kinds of things are you going to be doing?
Well, let's see. After the Bica Walkathon's over, following weekend, what do we do? We're that's Memorial Day weekend. We're going to be doing some more remotes and things. We're doing a lot of on-location stuff.
Where are you going?
On the Saturday of Memorial Day, we'll be doing a couple of things at a major toy store in the area.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Well, Toy Works. And,
The enemy?
and we'll also be... well, they're a sponsor of this. They're doing a good thing. And let's see, we'll also possibly make an appearance at the Balloons over Bristol. That's sort of iffy at this point. Lime Rock Park will pop in there and do a little bit of stuff. And then the following weekend, we're going to Woodbury, the Taste of Woodbury, and the car show there.
They have a Taste of Woodbury?
Yeah, they do. They combine it with the car show. It's on the 6th, Sunday the 6th.
Yeah.
On the 5th, we'll be broadcasting from up at the Gregorio Commons up there. We do a lot of stuff, a lot of on-location stuff, and of course all the fairs.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Get out to see the public.
It sounds like lots of like free food and free drinks.
Totally, yes. And the road race. I can't forget that. The Litchfield Hills Road Race. This is. It'll be the first year that we're actually on the air for the road race, and we are very proud to be the station this year that is broadcasting it and doing all of the coverage of it. It'll be unprecedented in the kind of coverage we do.
Okay. Now I'm dumb. Catch me up. What is the Litchfield Road Race?
Litchfield Road Race.
I know it sounds obvious. It's a road race, but like what?
It's been around. This will be the 17th one they've run. It's gotten quite a bit of recognition actually. It's a little over 7 miles.
Yeah.
It runs pretty much through the middle of Litchfield, runs out to the White Memorial and back. They attract world-class runners. Bill Rogers, who is a very well-known runner, ran the first two and won the first two, in fact.
Yeah.
Joan Benoit, who is the first woman ever to win an Olympic gold medal in the marathon in 1984. She won it a couple of times, I think.
Wow.
Last year, they always have world-class runners in it, plus a lot of local people. About 1,300 runners do it.
So it attracts people from all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's big. It's very big.
Is there like a prize for the winner?
Oh sure. Yeah, they have thousands of dollars.
Yeah?
In prize money. It's not the biggest. I mean, not like what you'd win if you run the Boston Marathon.
Well, yeah, but still, there's an incentive, though.
Oh sure.
Well, maybe
you know what you ought to do? You ought to get some of the guys involved in that on the program.
Yeah.
They tell you all about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're involved in that. We're broadcasting that.
I think I should get my running shoes out and try to get back into practice.
One of the, if you don't mind me,
if I don't mind,
suggesting something that we can talk about. The afternoon program, Betty and the Beehive. That's something new.
Yes. Now, how did you? Is this like? Does Betty have a beehive or?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Oh, so she's part of the B-52 as well. Mm-hmm. Or looks like she could be. So what kind of show does she have? I mean, what does she do?
It is very, very unique.
Yeah.
Very different. It's from 3 to 6 weekday afternoons. Anybody who's tuned in knows what I'm talking about. She and her hive, the hive they call it, all the people she has working for her, her little worker bees, as it were. They pick out, they have very topical discussions about things, lively, topical.
Controversial?
Controversial, oh, you bet. You bet.
I mean,
very
controversial for Litchfield or controversial in general?
Well, they talk about condoms and things like that.
Wait,
so
what?
Can we? Oh, did I say that?
This is a family show.
Yes,
Well,
we're going to prove it in the next half hour.
I thought this was cable. Oh, not that end. Not Channel 99 or whatever it is. Or whatever it is. Hey, stop that.
Yeah.
My kids are watching. But no, it's a very lively show and has some unique music and things. And Betty will actually, and I'm not kidding when I say this, Betty will be making an appearance next Thursday night on the David Letterman show.
Really? And she's going to talk about her show, and she's
You
gonna,
bet.
Is she going to have a beehive? Is she going to wear a beehive?
I understand she's going to be wearing a full bee bodysuit.
You know,
I'm not kidding. She is going to appear on the second to last Letterman show on NBC
well, that's significant.
next Thursday night.
That's significant. Now, you know, back where I'm from, see, I'm from the hills. I'm from Kentucky originally.
Really?
We had yeah. Can you believe it? We had a restaurant chain called Burger Queen, and there was a woman. I'm serious. There was a woman. They paid big money to put on a bee suit, and she was in TV commercials and all that kind of stuff. And she ended up like marrying someone that was like into bees. I mean, the guy. I swear, the guy.
Yeah, I bet he was.
no, really. I mean, he made honey and all that kind of stuff. You know. She was a perfect match.
Like a little further.
Yeah. No, seriously though. I mean, she's gonna have like little antenna. And
She has a very fashionable beret and a couple of little. You have to see it. You have to watch it for yourself.
I would like to have an autographed picture of that. That's incredible.
Well, you got an autographed T-shirt. See, she autographed the T-shirt. See, Betty. See the bee? This is our mascot. This is the bee. See the bee?
But Betty looks much different than that bee. Yeah.
No, but we do have a bee like this, and the bee will be making an appearance at the Bike a Walkathon this weekend.
So the bee's a mascot.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anything else going on before we go? Before we say goodbye?
Lots of. Well, hey, just tune us in. Give us a try if you haven't yet. It's a good station.
I was going to say, it sounds like you have an awful lot of fun. I want to come visit the studio.
Please do.
You know, I would. You know.
I'll have you on. I interview people at 8:20 every weekday morning.
Really?
And
I'll have to
schedule you in there, and I'll interview you.
Skip my day job there.
He'll type you in.
He'll type. Yes. Yes. He will input me into the database,
He'll input you.
and he will retrieve me on the hard drive so that he may become. Yes.
Your machine cracks.
Yes, your machine will fax. Yes, yes. I am very happy that you came. I'm glad to meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and well, but we're not going to talk about that on the air, though.
Oh.
Not to worry. Not to worry. This is a family show.
Well, I'm
Keep saying it, Jim.
Yes, we keep saying that. We keep trying.
We'll convince him sooner or later.
Yes, eventually we will convince them.
well, I'm pleased to have been given the opportunity to be on.
Now let's do our radio voices.
This is my radio voice. This is the way I talk.
You don't.
No, I don't do anything. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
On occasion.
it's a temptation. It's fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to do. Yeah.
Sunday.
Sunday. No, it's Saturday and Sunday. Yes, Saturday and Sunday. The Bike a Walkathon.
Right.
For Special Olympics. Everyone, please participate in that.
Just join us along the way, wherever you can.
Right.
It's fun.
All right. Jerry, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Hope to see you again soon. Maybe we'll see you over at your place, and we'll chat on the air, or you'll let me sit and watch you punch the buttons on the console. How's that? I'll just watch.
My pleasure, no problem.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Where am I? Which camera? Here we go.
Here you are.
Yes, there I am. There I am. Hi. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with artist Roy Kinzer. But is that yes,
there.
yes. Yes, what we were saying while you were watching Riddick Bowe and whoever that was, that they were saying I was on, and I didn't think I was really on. But we are on now. Yes, we are. My next guest is a friend of mine. He has graced us by coming down to visit from New Jersey. He's up. I don't know what geography. Where is New Jersey? We'll get on to that later. Where is Jersey? Yeah. But
everywhere you have to go up from New Jersey.
Ah, I see. Yes. Okay. But he's originally from Connecticut, actually from Norwich. Won't you please welcome Mr. Roy Kinzer?
Thank you.
Howdy. Howdy. Yes. You want to wave hi to anyone?
Oh, well, yes. Hello, Mother.
Look at those curly ones.
Anyway.
Anyway, yes, haven't gotten the pleasantries there. Yes, welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, now, first of all, okay, we'll set a little bit of this up, and then we'll talk, and then we'll go on. Originally, this concept for you to come visit, I wanted you to come visit the show and be on the show, but as I knew, and our audience will find out, a lot of the works that you do are very large and difficult to transport.
Yes, they're very difficult to transport, and then also you're switching mediums.
Right.
What I had decided to do was basically have a friend who shoots video, shoot some of the work from my studio.
Right. And that was the other thing. We thought, well, maybe we should do a video, and we can play with light and sound. And I don't know what we're going to see, but I'm sure it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I have a cheat sheet here. Yes. Exploring the male archetype.
Correct.
Okay. Now, a recent sculpture and works on paper. So.
Right.
So I will just that will tantalize them with that, and we'll get on to you. We'll talk about you first.
Okay. All right.
Okay. First of all, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a while. A lot of things have happened since last time I've seen you.
Really?
Yes. Well, we won't talk about that.
After.
Yes, on the divorce court section of the show.
Ah, good.
Yes, but anyway. Okay, now you're from Norwich. Now I didn't know that. I didn't know that until tonight.
No.
I
was born
you were, like from here,
born in Norwich, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And lived actually all around the state, on the up there, that area. Plainfield, actually we lived pretty much of everywhere except for Norwich, I think. Yeah. We lived in Niantic and
all the scenic places, it sounds.
Oh, very nice. We had many very nice houses.
Yeah.
My father would buy a house, work on it, and sell it, and we would move every 2 years.
You hear this little voice in the background. It's your brother. Yes.
My baby brother.
Baby brother. Chris, yes.
Maybe,
Yes.
but I can't outlive it.
Well, that happens. That happens.
Yeah. No. But, okay, so now you went to the Norwich.
Norwich Free Academy, right, which had actually a very good art department for that time, and I believe it still does. Probably one of the best in the country. It had its own art museum on the grounds.
Yeah.
It had quite a few buildings on the campus. It was sort of like a small Ivy League school, but it's public. You know, it's open.
Yeah.
And so I had some very good faculty who I was lucky enough to have had, and it was probably the basis of my education.
Now, when you went to Norwich, okay, did they get you? Did you did you do the basic things? Did you learn about, clay? Did you learn about, the different media that you could, then later on choose to work from? Or did they set you in a specific program and say, this year or this semester you're going to sculpt, and this semester you're going to paint, and this semester you're going to do something else?
It is set up like a lot of art schools where you do get all of that. You have a foundation program where you experience a lot of the different mediums, a lot of the different different styles that you could possibly be working with. The museum had a very big collection of plaster casts of some of the great antiquity and great artists of all time. Michelangelo, a lot of the Greek and Roman and sculptures, plaster casts of them.
Right.
But, and a great opportunity to, as a young artist, to be able to work from. And I still believe that's true, because it's not often that you get an opportunity to be able to develop draftsman skills, develop the ability to render. And that was the basis. And after that, I left and went on to college for art at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts in Philadelphia, yet another academy.
Now, did you specialize? And I don't want to really say specialize, but that's the only word that really comes to mind. Did you, at that time, decide, I want to do a specific type of art?
I wanted to be a painter. That was my ultimate goal, my ultimate direction, my ultimate love. It still is, except for in the last 6 months there has been a rather major change, and as the work that we're going to see later will show, there's been a tremendous change in the medium itself, where now I'm doing sculpture.
Okay. Now, what were your influences to get you, into sculpture? What things led you in that direction?
I think it was probably the haunting of all those plaster casts.
Okay. I mean, I'm laughing, but I mean...
No, if you saw them, you would know what I meant.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, it was a wonderful opportunity, but they were definitely there. They were definitely large presences.
Yeah. Now, during the time you were going to school in Pennsylvania, that's when you actually began to sell pieces.
Correct.
And then, therefore, quote, become professional.
Yeah, so that goes hand in hand, although I always kind of have a little bit of a problem with that. I mean, when are you truly a professional? I like to consider.
The law says it's like $100 or something.
Well, the IRS. We won't bring them into it right now, please. Not that I have a problem. No problems here.
No, this is not.
No, that is considered that you are a professional once you accept payment for your art. I like to consider that I've worked professionally since I graduated in college, which was 1979. And then really started showing shortly after that. I think it was pretty actively. I had my first one-person show in 1982.
Now, what is it like to have to put something like that together? And the reason I ask this is not only for my own curiosity, but because I know that there are people who watch our show. When we get professionals on the show, I like to, from time to time, have them give advice, and pointers and tips, because there's a lot of aspiring artists out there, aspiring actors, aspiring models, and whatever. And we've had, professionals in all those fields on the show. So now we have a professional artist. And we have people out there that are probably looking forward to that first exhibition. What's it like to put that together? What kinds of things do you have to consider besides getting someone to do it? I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, obviously that is kind of the we're skipping over that whole phase, and suddenly you have a show. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is quite frightening, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it is sort of like being, pardon the expression, but stripped down, being exposed.
Right. Because people are going to criticize the work, obviously. You're bringing it out into view.
And you spend all this time, depending on how long it takes you to put a show together,
Right.
say, you know, a year or so, developing up all this work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the privacy of your studio.
Right.
With, you know, people coming in and seeing things through the process at times. But usually it's a very, you know, it's a very private thing. At least my art has always been.
Uh-huh.
And yet, that exposing it to the public has always been a very important aspect. In other words, you know, artists cannot work in a void, and to get it out there is very important. So that's was always a desire and a want for mine to exhibit the work.
Yeah.
But to get back to your question, you have all this work that's very intimate, very personal, and then you expose it. And it's sort of like being stripped down.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've done several shows of your own, and I know that I remember I saw an invitation once to one that you did with at least one other artist. Is that a common thing to share an exhibition with another artist, or do you have to have a specific, is it like theme related,
Mm-hmm.
or is it basically because you get along with the other artist and you decide to share expenses, because obviously there are expenses involved?
Well, usually galleries will take those expenses, and it really depends. It could be a curatorial decision, the person in charge of the museum or the gallery that decides to group you with another artist.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a pretty big trend, I would say, in the last few years in New York, where there's been rather major group shows, which are based very conceptually on certain themes. It really, you know, it's almost like whatever goes. You know, there's a lot of different, and artists will try to grab anything and show wherever they can. And I think it is an important thing, because it's another form of communication.
Exactly. Now, do you have representation in some galleries at this time?
At the moment, no. I used to show quite a bit out in Chicago for quite a few years, and just the commercial pressure was way too much. As a young artist, I just felt that I wanted to get away from that and have some time to let the work develop.
So, giving yourself that freedom back, you know, to do those things, have you found change? I mean, you said there's been a big change.
There's been a major change.
Yeah, right, but what, you know, I'm trying to think of the way to ask the question. Besides, you said the hauntings of those casts. I mean, that's, you know, probably just one aspect of it. What goes through your mind, through your soul? I mean, you know, when you think of making a major change in the way you represent your expression, I mean, what kinds of things do you have to consider, or do you sit down and plot them out? I mean, you know, is it something that's that concrete, or is it pretty much an abstract thing where you say, this is what I feel, and you just kind of go and dive into it?
I think a lot of things happen. I think one, getting older has a big, you know.
Are you getting older?
That happened very recently, actually.
Shut up.
The throne. Well, we'll talk about that later. After. So stay tuned for the next sequel or whatever. Well, no, it's. There were a lot of changes in my life. I was questioning a lot of things. I was questioning being an artist, basically, and whether it was something that I really wanted to pursue. There were other things that I wanted to do. And as in any creative thing, you have to let yourself go through certain questions.
Right.
That I think makes you receptive to a lot of different things. And my work had slowly was becoming sculptural. I was breaking away from the traditional format of the rectangle. And the pieces were becoming more fragmented. I have, for the most part, spent most of my life working with the human form. And what was happening was that the human form on the paintings were breaking away, becoming fragments, and I was using that to play around more with the spatial relationships of a gallery. They were becoming more installations.
Right.
Anyway, the creative process and all this questioning sort of led me to wanting to make the work just more three-dimensional sculpture. You know? And basically one day I was reading, well, the problem I was having with sculpture was a question really with the medium itself, what medium to work with. There's bronze, there's, you know, which is a casting, and it's very expensive. There's, you know, there's wax, there's hundreds of different kinds of mediums.
Right.
There are some that are very dangerous when you start, you know, playing around with some of the plastics. You know,
those explosive ones, especially.
No, well,
Plastique.
plastic. And so it was a question of, okay, what medium to pick? You know, and I think that's one reason why I didn't really go any sooner, was I didn't really know what medium.
Now, we're going to see, after the commercial, we're going to go to a commercial break, okay, and then we're going to see some examples of what you have chosen as media in your sculpting.
Sounds good.
Now, again, the name of the what you're going to see is Exploring the Male Archetype. Now, before we go to the commercial, where am I? Yes, here I am. Okay, oh, someone's going to die. Where am I?
No, no, where are you?
Yes, there.
How can you tell?
How can I
never
tell?
mind, that's another.
Let's keep it right here. Okay, okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Roy. I want to advise the adults in the audience that the video clip we're going to see is about 8 minutes long. It is of, you know, the human form in all its glory. So, you know, if you have if you have small children and you don't wish for them to see that, you may want to turn to Sesame Street. But it's wonderful work, and we'll have a great time talking about it. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Here we are. It's that wide-angle shot. Yes. Yes. Here we are. Okay. Now, again, the clip is a collection of work by Roy Kinzer. It's called "Exploring the Male Archetype." Here we are. Yes. There we are. Yes. We're going to go to that clip. We are going to be talking over the clip. There is no audio track.
Okay. Here we go. This is basically how I start these pieces. I take a series of Polaroids. They're all basically my friends, people I know, and I've taken very specific aspects out. Okay, this is Jack. This is the only time I'm going to be using their names is when I'm showing the photographs, because they're not meant to be portraits.
Okay.
Okay. Here is the Flying Dutchman.
That's the name of the work.
Well, actually, it's called the Dutchman.
Okay.
And what I have attempted to do with all these pieces is bring out a specific aspect of the individual. The medium, which is I didn't get a chance to say. Yeah, there's the Dutchman. It's kind of an excitable sort of personality.
Okay.
Okay. The medium is paper mache.
That's paper mache?
It's paper mache. Just like what we used to do in kindergarten and all that. And I probably have not worked in the medium since then. But it's paper mache, works up with a chicken wire structure. Now, then I was also doing a series of works on paper that were accompanying these pieces. Once again, this is charcoal and paper mache mixed with acrylic paint. And this is how this image is brought out. Very quickly done, rather large. I mean, they're about 3 by 4 feet. And I said those pieces took about 15 minutes, very immediate. Now this is Pete, and Pete transformed into the priest.
Okay.
Okay.
Now this is also paper mache?
They're all paper mache.
Oh, okay. All
okay.
Right.
Very, like I said, I work it up with chicken wire, coat it with newspaper, coat that with canvas, dipped in the paper mache. Okay. Then I work with celluclay on top of that, which gets a lot of the form. I coat all that once again with canvas dipped in the paper mache. And a lot of these also have tattoos. Okay. And then to get the color, it's basically the paint, acrylic paint mixed in with paper mache as a medium, building up glazes of color.
And why did you call this The Priest?
The Priest, because I wanted to pull out a very spiritual aspect of the male archetype, which is a certain part of the archetype. It's not one that is maybe necessarily always recognized, but it's there. Okay, this is Alexander. And from Alexander came the Pigman.
The Pigman?
Right. It has to do with his tattoo. It has to do with the coloration of his skin. It's really much pinker than that. You're going to see the tattoo in a minute. And Alexander always has a saying, which was really kind of the basis of this piece. There's the pig tattoo, that all men are pigs. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, you know.
Yeah. It's incredible to me, of course. I've never worked with anything like this. I did clay in grade school, but this, I would never picture this as paper mache. I mean, looking at it, it just doesn't. When you say paper mache to me, I think of a piñata.
Right. Right.
No, well, no, seriously.
Right.
And this is, really, very nice. Was that the end of the clip?
No,
here we have.
No, there's a lot more actually.
Yeah,
but you were talking. Actually.
Oh, they don't have to cut to me every time I open my mouth.
And okay, now yet another work on paper.
Okay.
Okay. Jean-Paul, who transforms into the mule.
And why? Why did you choose this? The mule.
Certain aspects of the male archetype can be very obnoxious. This is not making any comment towards my friend.
Right.
But in going with this, I felt that with an obnoxious personality, with a body that is something like this, that he has to sort of be hung like a mule.
Okay.
Okay? Once again, that is not any kind of direct thing towards any of these individual people. The whole purpose of these was that I picked out very specific characters out of a certain personality.
Okay.
The only thing that any of them have really in common is the fact that they're all very strong individuals. So that picking out could be easily done. Okay. They're different body types, which is very important, and they're definitely supposed to represent different. Now this is going to be a little bit different.
Okay, what are we looking at?
No, just go with it. Okay, we're going to go with it. I started a series of human organs to kind of accompany these.
Okay.
Also paper mache. This is rather life-size. I did a piece, not this particular one, that I donated to the Sculpture Center for a raffle they were having. And the title of the piece, of course, was Organ Donation.
Yeah, okay.
And this is just, it's, once again, paper mache. And I'm exploring now some of the innards, some of the inside aspects of the human form. I think there's a little bit more. Because I'm talking, I guess. I was surprised to see me. Okay, now
video.
this is really pretty much the end. I'm just sort of panning the studio to give. Some of these are some older pieces down there on the bottom. My work table, the drawings that we were looking at.
You're like, yes.
Lots of electrical
Your fire
stuff.
hazard there.
This is where we run out of the batteries. See, no, only kidding. We did all this film, taping inside a camera. I mean, no editing. I think it came out actually pretty well.
Now, who produced this video?
Oh, he asked me not to use his name because he was unhappy with the quality.
Oh, okay, all right.
I would like to thank him without saying his name, so thank you.
Fine. Yes, and I thank him as well.
Just some different
Yeah, and these are all
pieces.
large works. This is the reason why I
Right.
initially said something about, well, maybe you could do a videotape, because I knew that you could never haul some of the. I mean, I've been to your place
Right.
in New Jersey, and I could, you could never, bring all that stuff,
Right.
In a car. It would destroy it.
Yeah, and then plus they're heavy and they're, they're that's that, by the way.
Oh, that is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, some of this stuff is just very difficult to transport. Plus, I don't know how they would look sitting here, though. Maybe they would be very good.
Well, it could
Some
be
of your next guests, perhaps.
Yes, exactly. We could just talk to them. Yes. Now we have a couple of minutes before we have to say goodbye. Do you have any exhibitions coming up? Anything that you'd like to share with the Connecticut? Because you are living in New Jersey,
Right.
And so, but people can get a hold of you from Connecticut. There are such things as phones and
there
faxes and all
definitely
that kind of stuff. How can people reach you in New Jersey if they'd like to talk to you about your work?
Well, I don't know. How would we do that? Would I say my telephone number now and get lots of calls? I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, it's up to you. It's up to you. It's totally up to you.
Contact the studio.
Or you can contact
Maybe
the
have them
studio.
contact
Yes.
the studio.
And the phone number does run at the end,
serious,
yes.
Because I'm definitely. I've been going through quite a bit of time of exploring of this. It's a new direction. I'm very excited by it, and I'm looking at showing them, but it's going to be still down the road. I'm seeing of doing, possibly 2 to 4 more of them. Okay, and it's a beginning stage of getting the work out there. Right now, I don't have anything that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm going to be doing as far as the immediate future, as far as showing.
Well, then let me know when you do, and maybe you can come back on and we can talk about it.
Wonderful. I would
want
love to.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having
Yes.
me and
Yes.
giving me the opportunity to show my work.
Hey, I enjoyed it. I really did. Now, before we go, which camera? Yes, this one. Okay. Okay, now remember, folks. Oh, kill them all. Okay.
Did they do that intentionally?
Yes, they do.
Isn't that something?
Yes. I have to take twice as much Thorazine because of that. Okay. Now, we are on hiatus next week. It's the Memorial Day holiday. We will not be having a show next week. There may be a rerun, I'm not sure, but we won't be live. After that, though, the week after that, my guests will be Sharon Wilcox from the Warner Theater, Peter Kukis, is that it? Okay, and Chris Jerpy, who is a jewelry designer. And which camera is on it there?
Look at that.
Yes, I look like a Picasso, don't I?
Yeah, something like that.
Now put
or
your
at least
ears,
like you have a splitting headache.
put your ears over your nose. Yeah, I have a splitting headache. I'd like to say thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. I had a great time. I thank my guests, Jerry Wiese and Roy Kinzer. And to my fan club of one out there, listen, timing is everything, kiddo, okay? So think about it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Take it easy. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night. Everyone, come on down. Walk out.